In this video, I'm going to solve 7 questions of two-step equations. So let's begin. The first question is solve for r. Minus 13 equals r over 9 plus 8. Okay, so let me write the equation. Minus 13 equals r over 9 plus 8. So the first thing, I want to get rid of the plus 8 here to be left just with the r over 9. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. So I have on the right hand side r over 9, because plus 8 minus 8 is nothing. And on the left hand side I have minus 13 minus 8. Okay. Minus 13 minus 8, because both numbers are negative, so I combine them, I add them together, so it's 21, and the result is negative because they are both negative, so it's minus 21 equals r over 9. And now to isolate the r, I need to multiply both sides of the equation by 9. So on the right hand side I'm left with r, and on the left hand side 21 times 9 is 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and it's negative 189. Okay, now I can plug in this result in the original equation to test if this solution is correct. So minus 13 equals minus 189 over 9 plus 8. Okay, so we know that 189 divided by 9 is 21, okay, because here we did 21 times 9 is 189, so 189 divided by 9 is 21, so minus 13 equals minus 21, because it's negative 189 divided by 9, so it is minus 21 plus 8. And here we have one negative number, 1 plus 8, not plus 3. So one is negative, one is positive, so the result is the difference between the two. 28 minus 21 minus 8 is 13. And the result is negative, so it's for minus 13 equals minus 13, which means that this result is correct, minus 189. Good. Okay, solve for p. So we have 9 times p minus 4 equals minus 18. Okay, so on the left hand side I want to be left just with the parentheses, p minus 4. So the first step is to divide both sides of the equation by 9. So on the left hand side, because I have 9 times the parentheses, and then I divide by 9, so I'm left with just p minus 4, and on the right hand side I have minus 18 over 9, which is 18 divided by 9 is 2, and the result is negative because 18 is negative, so I have here minus 2. So p minus 4 equals minus 2. And then I want to isolate the p, so I add 4 to both sides of the equation. So on the left hand side I'm left with just p, because p minus 4 plus 4 is just p. And on the right hand side I have minus 2 plus 4. One is negative, the other is positive, so the result is the difference between the two. So the difference between 4 and 2 is 2, and the result is positive because 4 is greater. So p equals 2. And now I plug in this result in the original equation. So 9 times, instead of p, I'm writing 2. 2 minus 4 equals minus 18. So now I apply the distributive property. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times minus 4 is minus 36. Equals minus 18. Okay, so 18 minus 46 is also minus 18. So this is good. Okay, because 18 is positive and 36 is negative. So the result is the difference between the two. 36 minus 18 is 18, and the result is negative because 36 is greater. So 18 equals minus 18 equals minus 18, which means that p equals 2 is the correct answer. Okay, solve for q. So the equation is 3 times q minus 7 equals 27. So the first step is to be left with just the parentheses on the left hand side of the equation. So I divide both sides of the equation by 3. So on the left hand side I'm left with q minus 7, and on the right hand side I have 27 divided by 3, which is 9. No. Yeah. 9. Okay, so q minus 7 equals 9. Now to isolate the q, I need to add 7 to both sides of the equation, so q minus 7 plus 7 cancel out each other. And on the right hand side I have 9 plus 7, which means that q equals 16. Now to verify that this answer is correct, I plug in the result in the original equation, so 3. Instead of q, I will plug in 16 minus 7 equals 27. Now, within the parentheses, 16 minus 7 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27 equals 27, which means that this result is correct. Q equals 16. Okay, 7n minus 4 equals 31. Okay, so I want to, the first step is I want to be left with just the 7n on the left hand side of the equation, so I need to add 4 to both sides of the equation to cancel this. So on the left hand side I'm left with 7n, and on the right hand side I have 31 plus 4. So 7n equals 35, and now to isolate the n, I need to divide both sides of the equation by 7. So when n equals 35 divided by 7, which is 5. So n equals 5. Now to verify that this result is correct, I will plug in the result in the original equation, which means 7 times 5 instead of n, I'm writing the result 5 minus 4 equals 31. Okay, so 35 minus 4 equals 31. So 35 minus 4 is 31, and it's indeed equal to 31. So this means that n equals 5 is the correct answer. Solve for g. So 3 equals g over, looks like a 9, g over minus 4 minus 5. Okay, so the first step is to get rid of the minus 5 here. So I'm left with just the phi g over minus 4. So I add 5 to both sides of the equation. So I have 3 plus 5 on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, I'm left with the g over minus 4. Okay, so 8 equals g over minus 4. And now to isolate the g, I need to multiply both sides of the equation by minus 4. Okay, so on the right hand side I'm left with g, and on the left hand side I have 8 times minus 4, which is minus 32. G equals minus 32. I plug in this result in the original equation, so 3 equals minus 32 divided by minus 4 minus 5. Okay, so 3 equals 32 divided by 4 is 8, and because we have negative in the numerator and denominator, so we have 8. 8 minus 5 is indeed 3. So 3 equals 3, which means that g is indeed minus 32. Solve for z. 42 equals minus 7 times z minus 3. Okay, so the first step is to be left on the right hand side with just the parentheses. So minus 7 times z minus 3. So I'm dividing both sides of the equation by minus 7. So 42 divided by minus 7 is minus 6. And on the right hand side I'm left with z minus 3, and now to isolate the z I need to add 3 to both sides of the equation. So minus 6 plus 3 equals z, which means that z equals minus 3. And now to test it, I will plug in the result in the original equation. So 42 equals minus 7 times minus 3 minus 3. Okay, so within the parentheses we have minus 6 minus 7 times minus 6. Negative times negative is positive. 7 times 6 is 42. So we have 42 equals 42, which means that this is correct. Z equals minus 3. Solve for t. So 2 times t plus 1 equals 10. So the first step is to be left with just the parentheses. I'm dividing both sides of the equation by 2, because we have 2 times the parentheses, so I divide it by 2. So on the left hand side, I'm left with t plus 1, and on the right hand side, I have 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So t plus 1 equals 5, and now to isolate the t, I need to subtract 1 from both sides of the equation, so t equals 5 minus 1, which is 4. Now, to test this result, I will plug it in the original equation, so 2 times, instead of t, I'm writing 4 plus 1 equals 10. 4 plus 1 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10 equals 10, which means that t is indeed 4. Good. Thank you for watching. So in the next video, I'm going to this practice. So now I will move on to this section, two-step equations with decimals and fractions, and I will do this practice, two-step equations with decimals and fractions. So I will see you in the next video.